Ladies and gentlemen, a very good morning to all of you. It's a great honor for me to have got this wonderful opportunity as a part of this Global Edu Conclave 2023 to be a keynote speaker on the SDG goals for the second consecutive time. I'm pleased to welcome you to this SDG movement, the first in this crucial decade of action to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals by 2030. First of all, the Sustainable Development Goals are a set of 17 objectives framed to solve the global problem of inequality, poverty, environment protection, climate change, and peace. The most important goal is to end poverty by 2030. The Sustainable Development Goals are like a blueprint for the various nations to achieve a better and a more sustainable development. We are living in a world of changes that is so profound and rapid that no country can stand alone. The threats and challenges faced by the various countries require everyone to share the responsibility and contribute to a common vision. The main aim of the SDGs is to encourage innovation, build sustainable infrastructure, promote stable industrialization, and reduce inequalities among the people. Further, it also aims to make towns and cities safe, inclusive, sustainable, and resilient in order to combat the climate change. I'm sure all of us will agree that these are the challenges that can hold back the nation. Many of these difficulties are faced by a number of countries. This conference aims to be the game changer that will eradicate poverty at all levels. We need to adopt multilateral structures and institutions that will accelerate sustainable development by reducing inequality and foster peace. And the problem that the world nations are facing today is the multidimensional poverty. Multidimensional poverty is estimated on the basis of various indicators such as nutrition, child mortality, poor sanitation, lack of pure drinking water, and the availability of electricity. In addition to all this, we cannot consider income alone as the sole indicator of poverty. In the light of this, we need to consider a range of disadvantages that individuals may be facing. It's an undeniable fact that the Indian government's initiatives for poverty alleviation has also improved by leaps and bounds. Firstly, as per the National Food Security Act of 2013, subsidized food grains are provided to almost 2/3 of the Indian population. Another milestone achieved by the government is with regard to the employment opportunities and regular income for the rural poor, which has been extended through the Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Act. Apart from all these, the Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana and the Pradhan Mantri Kisan Samman Nidhi aims to provide direct benefits to the poor people. India has been very successful in reducing multidimensional poverty with substantial improvements across the indicators. However, there are other challenges of regional disparities, job creation, resource allocation, and implementation bottlenecks faced by the nation and needs to be addressed to achieve sustained poverty reduction and inclusive development. Eradicating poverty is the most important and significant goal of the SDG. The goal can help unlock the untapped potential of its manpower. As per various reports, nearly half of the world's population lives in poverty. A fraction of the population still suffers from lack of food and clean water, leading to high mortality rates. A strong multilateral system is needed to eliminate poverty and meet the SD goals. It is also equally important to consider the diverse and specific development needs of the middle-income countries and address them appropriately. Poverty rates have shown a decreasing trend between 2015 and 2018. As a result of the pandemic situation, post-COVID, the poverty rates have sharply increased from 8.3% in 2019 to 9.2% in 2020. In order to combat the poverty, the UN issued a framework for an immediate socio-economic response post-COVID situation in order to ensure that people everywhere have access to essential services and social protection. The UN created a specific fund for this very purpose to help specifically the low and the middle income countries that are suffering due to the ill effects of COVID pandemic. Another milestone in this regard is that the countries are committed to reducing child poverty. Child poverty, as we all know, refers to the lack of enough resources to enjoy the rights such as good nutrition, health, water, education, and shelter. Depriving these rights from the children is just like robbing the childhood, which in turn may result in unidentified talents of such children. As a result, these deprivations leads to lifelong consequences and serious implications for children. In order to eradicate child poverty, it is much necessary to measure the number of children living in poor households and measure the multidimensional poverty that is existing in the nations. In UNICEF's perspective, poverty can be eradicated by following the definition of routinely measuring and monitoring child poverty, prioritizing child poverty in national development strategies and plans, expanding child social protection programs, investing in quality social services, and safeguarding social spending. Thus, the primary focus of the Sustainable Development Goal is to reduce at least by half the proportion of men, women, and children of all ages living in poverty in all its dimensions. That is why the 2030 Agenda includes a commitment to leave no one behind. We all need to work together to find solutions that are sustainable and durable, and that recognizes the interdependence of the countries with each other and with all life on earth. With such a united spirit, we can make tremendous progress over the coming decades, especially for the most vulnerable and the poorest of the poor. Of course, each country has its primary responsibility for its own path for sustainable development. Together, let us make this a decade of action, a decade of ambition, and a decade of hope and peace. Once again, thank you for the generous invitation extended to me as a keynote speaker in this laudable global educational conference arranged by I2OR.